Are you looking to catch better bass in August? And are you confused because what you usually use to catch bass has stopped working like it used to? Well, in this video, I'm gonna be going through the 3 main mistakes I see as a bass fishing guide in August. When I really began getting into bass fishing, I remember I was a young dad and I was looking for an outlet from the stresses of life. And I remember one day walking into the local tackle shop, sweating bullets, not just from the heat, but also from the stress of trying to figure out what to buy in the summer to be able to go out and catch them. Finances were tight, so I didn't want to blow out our budget for my young family. I ended up buying way too much stuff and got really embarrassed when my wife found out. Now I can look back on that experience and laugh. Nearly 10 years later, I've been fishing every year in August and have got things super dialed. I can confidently go out and catch them this time of year without worrying what I'm gonna be using or what I'm gonna be doing. The fear of whether I'm gonna catch them or not has totally gone away, and I love seeing my kids get excited when they catch fish, helping others find the joy of outdoor bass fishing. And in this video, I wanna talk about that. I wanna talk about my experiences and what I've learned to be able to help you avoid the common mistakes most people make when they're bass fishing in August. All right, let's talk about these mistakes. I'm not saying that this is the only things that are getting in your way of catching bass in August. Let's be honest, there's a lot of different ways and different situations out there that you might find yourself in that might not totally apply. But if you're new to my channel, what I like to do is talk about the overarching principles so that you can see what's going on to be able to know how you can target the fish in your area to catch a lot more bass in August. Mistake number 1. I took a client out fishing the other day and we started fishing, chucking and winding, chucking and winding. I thought I knew what I was doing, you know, and it was just not happening. So I'm like, oh man, this is not going the way I anticipated. We weren't catching a dang thing. Started making small talk to try to make the experience enjoyable. I knew a decision had to be made and it had to be made fast. So what I did in this situation is I went out even deeper. Normally I would be fishing 20, 25 feet and I started going, I'm like, I gotta figure this out. And I went extreme to the depths, 40 feet, first cast, boom, loaded up. And we just started catching them. It was amazing how many more fish we caught. We were in the same areas, just like 10 feet deeper. It's amazing how close you can be to them and not catch them. So that's the mistake you gotta avoid, is don't keep fishing the same depth. Make sure you're moving to the extremes, like really deep, or sometimes they'll get up really shallow in the cover to escape the extreme heat that can happen in August. Just make sure you're covering all those depth ranges, and that'll be a big key to help you catch more fish in August if you're struggling. Mistake number 2, I remember pulling up to a lake one time, middle of August. It was hot. I was driving through. I'd actually fished it a little bit once before, nothing crazy, and I got out of my car, I was sweating, there were bugs everywhere, and I walked down to this bank, and to make things worse, this guy, he's like, man, the fishing here is no good anymore, I haven't had a bite all day, good luck, I don't know what's going on. I'm like, oh man, I used to love this place. You know, I used to catch fish from here pretty regularly. And I walked down to the shore and started fishing, and I quickly discovered why this guy wasn't catching them. The place was full of thick, nasty grass, and my lures were bringing up tons of weeds, tons of vegetation. They wouldn't come back very clean. So I switched to lures that work better when things are sloppier. First cast, hooked up. Reeled it in, made a couple more casts, caught another one, and I had a great time fishing from the bank because I switched out to better lures that go through grass and slop and vegetation. So I want to walk you through some of my favorite baits in August so you don't pick the wrong lure so you can go out and catch them. Number 1 is a weightless fluke. I throw it weightless, rig it weedless, just like this, and it goes through grass and vegetation and covers so good. You can skip it up under docks, you can throw it up shallow. So when things are thick and nasty, I use a weightless fluke in August. Number 2, I love throwing a frog in August because there's a lot of vegetation, and a frog is a great way to get through that stuff. Typically they bite it more early morning, late evening, but you can still get a few to come up if they're real aggressive depending on what's going on. But frog and a fluke are 2 of my favorite baits to throw in August. And then the third bait is I really like throwing a swim jig. A swim jig is really good because it can go through thick cover really well, and it's got the weed guard to prevent it from gunking up as much and getting on your hooks, and I can bomb it out, let it fall down to the bottom and fish it in those deeper depths. And then I lied, here's one more bait I love throwing in August, and that's a Nico rig. I love the Nico rig because it does go through vegetation really well because of the way the hook's pointed, the way the bait naturally sits. I fish it through grass and heavy cover. I usually use the Nico rig when I need to get down really deep, 25, 35, because it'll fall down pretty fast and stay down there. And those are the 4 baits that I use: weightless fluke, frog, swim jig, and a Nico rig. Bottom line, don't get caught up in using the same thing that you always use in August. You need to pick a bait that will work best through the different conditions that you experience. And if you need more help understanding what lure to choose, make sure you go check out my masterclass. It's free. It's called the Kraken Code to go from rookie to Bassmaster in under 30 minutes, and it walks you through my 6-pillar framework to know what baits to choose. So make sure to check that out if you haven't yet. All right, mistake number 3. I decided to challenge one of my friends to a tournament. It was up in Idaho, and I was way excited. I've been to this lake before. On the phone, we were talking about the lake together. On the phone, I literally said, man, with all this rain, I bet they're pushing way up in the back where the water comes in. I can't wait to, I think maybe throwing a frog up in there or going up in that area would be the juice. And when I got to the lake, guess what I didn't do? I ran to a few different areas, didn't run to the back like I was told the guy over the phone. And when we met up again, guess what? I lost. And come to find out, guess where he went? Oh, we caught our biggest fish way up in the back. And I was like, oh my gosh, I knew that. Why didn't I do that? It's stupid of me for not going to where I thought they would be. I got distracted by other spots. But how did I know that that would be a good area? Let me talk about this. It's all about the oxygen in August. August equals oxygen. Places where current comes in, cooler water, deeper vegetation, that thermocline level, the bass need oxygen, and sometimes it can get choked out in spots of the lake, and there's a real distinct layer in August that happens. Focus on those areas where you know there's plentiful oxygen. Bass have gills. It's not that they breathe water. The gills actually take the water and filter out and get oxygen to move them and power them and help them go through the water. So it's a vital resource, and the better the oxygen content, the more healthy the fish feel, the more active they can feel, and the better they can move around to get something to eat. So focus on that if you want to catch more bass in August. Those are the 3 tips, but as you know, I always include a bonus tip. It's usually one of my favorites, the best. So here it is. Thanks for staying with me. August can be a real challenge because the bass have been feeling a lot of pressure. The summer vacationers out there fishing, a lot of people have more time in the summer. It's light later in the evening, so more people are fishing off work. So they get pressured a lot. And so it's important to know what to do when the bass start feeling a lot of pressure. So I focus on 2 things. Number 1, I go to a lot smaller baits, 3-inch baits, really small swim baits, little skinny worms. I know a lot of you hate the Ned rig, but it smokes them. The smaller stuff is really key when the bass are feeling a lot of pressure. And number 2 is go to the extremes. So go really, really deep where nobody really fishes, because if people are fishing a certain area for a long time, the bass will move off deeper. Or they'll feel a lot of pressure and move up extremely shallow, like go punch up in the mats or deep in the tules or frogging over thick stuff that people aren't fishing. So by doing downsizing and fishing extremes, you'll catch a lot more bass in August. I'd love to hear more about what you've done to improve your bass fishing in August to help others on the channel. Drop a comment below, and don't forget to check my other video of common mistakes people make with their bass fishing so that you don't fall victim to them and you go out and catch a lot better bass. Stay stoked. Bye.